Hey everybody,
Hello.
we're going to do our project talking about the ministry that we kind of came up with that God has put on our hearts to do. It's been probably about 3 or 4 years now that we've been thinking about this thing. We actually have a name for it now. It's pretty cool. What's the name?
It's called 1 in 99.
1 in 99. Go ahead.
And the scripture reference for that is Luke 15:4. Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? So basically, our community really, we have a lot of kids, we have a lot of people in general who really just need someone to reach out to them, to seek them out like God would and go after them and go after their hearts and just show them that they are loved and that they are cared for. So that is the purpose of our ministry.
Yeah, a lot of them are just missing the simple fact of just the simple thing of love, something that you think is so second nature. A lot of people grow up without it. A lot of people have never experienced it, and these kids, they light up when they come over here. They light up when they're, they're just different. They're different kids. You got kids that never hugged anybody, comes up and hugs because they feel loved here, and it's beautiful to watch it on this level. And our ministry is about expanding that to offer that to more people.
Yes.
So the mission statement, 1 in 99, exists to seek, serve, and love the one, the overlooked, the misunderstood, the struggling, and the lost. We are a Christ-centered organization dedicated to mentoring, equipping, and empowering people of all ages to find purpose, healing, and hope.
Yes. So this isn't limited to, we did put like emphasis on the youth, because we look around and we see, the just ick going on right now in the world with our teens and young people, and just you can see the lack of love there, and the disregard for life and love for other people, and so that's our emphasis, on that. But it's for all people, because obviously we know that everyone struggles and everyone needs love, and people of all ages need someone to reach out to them and feel like someone cares. So
yeah,
it's for all.
Absolutely terrifying, because we have 4 children, one of which is already a teenager. The other 3 are close. Well, one's close behind, and then we got a couple more come behind that. So the premise of it is to be the change you want to see, be a part of the solution. Don't just complain about the problem.
Yeah, because we can complain about it all day, but if we aren't actually having a solution or doing anything about it, then we're part of the problem.
All right. Core values: compassion, meet people where they are, just as Christ did. You want to go on all that?
Empowerment, invest in the potential of every individual. Community, build connection, trust, and unity across all generations. And integrity, transparent, accountable, and Christ-like in conduct.
So compassion, kind of elaborate on that a little bit. All the time you see it where, say you got a homeless person on the side of the street, or just in the front of a store, and granted they may be asking you for money or whatever, but a lot of times they just want conversation, and some of them do, they don't care about none of that, but some of them just want to be seen as people. And I feel like a lot of times people get discarded in society, whether it be, unfortunate things that happen to people all the time. And I want a place, an environment where people like that can come, where they feel like they're people, where they feel like they're human.
Safe.
They get to experience humanity, when for however long it's been, people just basically treat them as trash. Empowerment is basically what it is. You empower people, empower children to know that they can do things, that they can do great things. A lot of kids that we come into contact with have only been told they're good at sports, or they're good at this, they're good at that, or some of them have been told that they'll never amount to anything. And that's so far from the case. All they need is for somebody to pour into them, to just show
Build
them that
up.
they can, to build them up.
I feel like so many, and to touch on that, because there's a lot of kids who they grow up and they'll be able to look back and say, this person is the one person that spoke life into me. We want to be that person for people. We want to build a community of people who speak life into other people, who speak life into people who feel like they're absolutely nothing, that people walk by them all of the time, but build a community of people who go around speaking life and love into people. That's the biggest part of this whole thing.
So you touched on community there, integrity, transparent, accountable, Christ-like in conduct. So integrity is huge. If I'm not going to be anything, we're going to be honest. We're going to be open.
We're not going to be perfect.
Yeah, we are definitely learning, throughout this whole thing, and it's been tough at times, but it's been worth it in the end. And just, you have to be transparent. You got to be vulnerable. You got to be open in order to get people to buy what you're saying, in order to get people to think that you might actually understand. Maybe there is hope. Maybe there is someone else out there like me. It's a key part. It has to be at the core of everything that you're trying to do. All right.
Right.
What we provide, like we said in the beginning, it is youth focused. So the first three things would be after school support, tutoring, Bible-based counseling and mentorships, creative and career workshops, whether it be photography, nails, trades, farming, youth-led service, Bible study, worship nights. So for the youth part of it, after school support, the tutoring thing, that just helping kids with their school stuff, and then offering the counseling services, offering them, someone to listen, someone to be able to give advice, godly advice.
I feel like that's huge too with the kids, because if you start that young, they don't see it as such a voodoo thing later on in life. Like mental health is such a huge issue right now, and the enemy is definitely playing his cards right now with our youth and our young kids, speaking just negativity into them, and making them feel as like nobody cares about them, nobody will understand. But the truth of it is, counseling is huge, therapy is huge, and if they can learn that now, that's going to be such a key asset for their futures in what they decide to do with themselves. So it's huge to be able to offer that free to families, that can't afford it, or they don't have insurance, or, kids who just need somebody to talk to,
Right.
Just having that's big. That's a huge thing.
And then for the career aspect, for a while, I know when we were coming up, we're not that old, but during our generation, everyone had to go to college. Everyone needed to do this to be successful, and neither one of us did that. And I'd like to think of ourselves as semi-successful. I mean, we're not millionaires by no means, but we've made a decent life for ourselves, and without going to college. I tried it and failed it because it just wasn't for me at the time. And I learned a trade and took off with it. So there are other avenues, and I just want people to understand. I want young kids to know that college isn't the only way. If it is for you, then we'll support that in any way possible. And then youth-led service, Bible study, worship nights. That's just to get them together, to get them around like-minded kids, to get them out of the world in a sense, and just put them in God's presence, and just have them around like-minded people who can push them towards God, who they can see that worshiping God, being a Christian, can be fun. It's not just boring and just all the things you can't do. There's plenty that you can do, and to be able to enjoy each other and enjoy His presence. All right, so touch on the adult stuff, because we didn't do that.
Adult and family support. So GED prep, resume help, interview coaching, parenting classes, financial literacy and emotional healing groups, Bible-based counseling, addiction recovery, prayer groups, food and shelter resources. So basically the same stuff as for our youth, but this will also have, you know, like financial help as far as learning how to budget and things like that. And we're going to be touching on stuff like that with the kids too, but it's more so for, you know, the adults. But yeah, addiction recovery, that's huge for me because addiction was a huge thing in my family growing up. So seeing the people out on the street now, it hurts my heart because I know that their families probably really suffer from that. So that's a big one for me too. Yeah.
Let me skip one.
Okay. We already did this. The communities we serve, the ages.
Yeah.
We already said that.
All right, so 2 year, we kind of got it broke down to a 2 year timeline. The first step would be to start the nonprofit process. We're actually in the middle of that now. Mm-hmm. We have the LLC, the head in-house, that the base nonprofit's going to be, and the 1 in 99 is going to be branched off of that.
Yes.
Begin fundraising, reaching out to local organizations in search of sponsorships. Build relationships with like-minded people that are on board with the mission and develop a team. Host outreach events in a temporary location, church, schools, etc. Secure property and land for an official building.
Yes. Which is crazy because in our classes right now, we have pretty much our whole class is on board with all of this kind of in a sense because we all kind of have this same kind of goal in our own form or fashion. So it's pretty crazy.
It's like God has aligned the class, you know what I'm saying, to be able to support one another in that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this one?
So, yeah, 1 in 99 foundational scriptures. I'll let her touch on that.
So we have the Luke 15:4. Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? That's God's heart for the one. Matthew 19:14, let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. This speaks on Jesus' love for children and youth. Isaiah 41:10, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This is encouragement and strength for those facing trials. Matthew 11:28, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. It's rest and restoration through Christ. Psalm 34:18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This is healing in nearness and brokenness.
So a lot of those, I mean, that they basically speak for themselves. I've been reading a lot of the Gospels, and over again, Jesus tells us that the last will be first and the first will be last. To be, you know, to be seen as greater than the other, you have to be willing to serve. And it's about, he literally speaks on the lowly, the brokenhearted, the ones discarded. Those are the ones who are going to be put first. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones who he loves. Bring to me your little children. Bring to me those people like that. So that's kind of the premise behind it, is to go after the ones that is left behind.
Absolutely. Partnerships. So people who we want to partner with would be local churches and faith-based ministries, public schools, colleges, youth organizations, local farms, small businesses, tradespeople, mental health and counseling providers, social workers, community leaders, government agencies, job training programs and reentry services, and financial advisors. So we kind of touched on all of that.
It sounds like a big team, but to do the project that the ministry we're trying to do, you're going to need a big team.
Yes.
Our dreams and aspirations and kind of what we've been feeling like God's put on our heart is bigger than just us.
It is way bigger.
And
we can't do this by ourselves.
We're going to kick it off. It's going to be necessary for us to acquire those relationships.
Hey, God put this in our hearts like 3-4 years ago, but this was way before we started at Freedom Life. We've only been at Freedom Life now for a year, and it's like God has aligned every single thing from this year down, like our baptisms were almost a year ago, then the classes, and then meeting all of the people in our classes who all of these things align with, knowing that we could never do this by ourselves, knowing that this was a bigger mission than just us. So it's very intentional the way that God is working through this entire thing, how He's using His people. Our final words: 199 is more than a nonprofit. It's a living ministry of restoration and purpose, being the hands and feet of Christ in every life we come in contact with. Every building, every path, and every opportunity will point to Jesus. We believe that when we reach the one, we renew the entire community. Let everything we do reflect the love of Christ and bring restoration to those who need it most. So, mainly our mission is to bring love and light and encouragement to our community by actually being the hands and feet, by actually providing things and not just saying, well, come here and let me pray for you. Not that prayer doesn't work, but by actually doing something about the problems. Seeing you, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly that, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you as a person.
He calls us to action. And this is how we plan on doing that.
Yep. So, hope you guys like it.